Welcome to another episode of G Block's Go Deeper podcast series. My name is Sheila Krishna. I'm the community and program director here at G Block, and I have a very special guest today. This is Luiza Ferreira. She is a seasoned content strategist and creator who is also the G Block community manager. She has been a social media manager and marketer for over 7 years. Welcome, Luiza.
Hi, Sheila. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. Might I add, this is my first full interview in English, so really, it's an exciting challenge. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
You're gonna be great. I'm sure of it. So why don't we dive in and we start with your first question. So why don't you tell us your why? What do you consider to be your purpose or your mission in the world, and what experiences in your life shape that?
It's very safe to say for me that my why is just doing something meaningful. And by meaningful, what I mean is not just meaningful for the world or for the people around me, but also for myself. So whether I'm just like taking a small action for myself or I'm doing something greater with a group of people, I really want to, at the end of the day, for this to be meaningful. So like I just want to go to sleep that day just thinking that I've done something meaningful. And I take on this crazy adventures that I think just shape that. And for me to actually be doing something that means something to me. And it ends up meaning something to the world as well. So I would
So,
say that doing something meaningful.
so what is meaningful to you? What, when you look back at your experiences, what are the things that give you meaning? Can you give us some examples?
Yeah, I think I could say that it's just something that gives me peace of mind is something that is meaningful for me. And also
Okay.
something that I feel that I've achieved something either for myself or for someone, or that I've done something that actually made a difference for someone or for myself. So I just like that feeling of having done something that really made a difference, whether a small difference or a big difference. And that gives me peace of mind.
Okay.
So that's what I would say that meaningful means to me.
Okay. So it's more of a feeling. So or a state. It's like what
Yeah.
gives me peace of mind, that is what I see as meaningful. That's great to know. So if you had, one big idea that you could give to the world, what would that one big idea be and why?
Mm, this is a kind of a hard question because I have a lot of thoughts on that. But I think my big idea would just be take on the opportunities that you have once you have them, because
Mm,
would definitely take you places that you never thought you would go. And
yeah.
I do that because I have experienced that. So I think my big idea
Mm,
or like my big tip for someone would just be take on the opportunities. Do not be shy, like just put your face out there and do what you're feeling like doing. Um, so yeah, I think that would be like my big idea.
And is there any particular experience that or experiences um that inspires you to say that? Like why is that so important to you?
Um, First of all, being this interview I would say, it's the first thing. This is a very good example. And also, I once went to it was a volunteer internship in Mexico, and I went basically by myself, and I just figured things out as I went. So that is something. And today, when I look back, there are some things that I'm like, oh my God, how did I do that? And all of it is because I had the courage to do it. So I'm really happy I did.
Uh,
And the
mm,
same thing goes to when I first lived abroad for a year. I was only 13. I
wow.
kind of knew the language, but like I was still learning.
Yeah.
So I just put myself out there. Like I was trying to make friends all the time. I was not afraid of speaking the wrong English or just I just wanted to be there and to, take on the whole experience. So yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, so it sounds like that comes from, it sounds like it's almost like practicing courage, right?
Yes.
Practicing courage has given you some of the most meaningful and adventurous and like exciting times in your life. So
Yeah.
I can totally see the thread in why you would share that.
Yeah.
So what are the ways in which you create meaningful connections?
I think this circles back again to courage of like just going out there, just not being afraid to talk to people and not being afraid to be in a different place that you were used to, or to just get into subjects that you're not used to and just talking to people about it, just hearing new ideas, new ways of new visions that
Mm,
you would have not thought about it if you had not talked to that person.
mm.
So that would be my answer.
Great. I really appreciate that. I know every every relationship I've at least started or initiated required that level of courage, and I know that a lot of my own personal relationships, vulnerability is one of the things that has creates the most trust in a
Mhm.
relationship. So that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Um, so currently, what communities are you part of and why?
Okay. Of course, I have to start saying that G Block is one of the communities that I'm a part of, and I am so glad to be here. As I said before, this is something that I've been working on to just like wanting to be in touch with people from outside Brazil, which is the country where I live. So I'm so excited to be a part of this and to see how the community is growing and to know about all our future plans for G Block. It really excites me. And I think it's also safe to say for me that I'm also a part of the art and dance community. As a daughter of two teachers, my mom and dad are teachers. My mom has always been the dance team here in my city. My dad has always practiced sports and stuff like that. So I also consider myself to being part of this community, which is really fun. I just love to be a part of just seeing culture happen, So I really like photographing events. I'm always with my mom and her dance students. So that's really cool. And I'm also a part of that LGBTQ plus community, and I'm really happy to be. So
Oh, that's wonderful.
yeah.
Um, so what would you like to see more of in the communities that you are part of? What do you think might be missing, or what would you add to even enhance these communities?
When I think about this question, the first thing that comes to my mind is I would like to see more compassion and people helping each other than just like feeling that you're in a competition.
Mm,
I think G Block is a great example of how a community should be because I have a feeling that everyone is there, to either be a mentee or a mentor. Everyone knows that everyone there has something to offer, and it's always like a really nice change. So that is really great about G Block. But of course, I have seen this competition and kind of not a so helpful environment in other communities. And I would definitely say that just for people to be more open and more helpful rather than just competing.
okay. I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big compassion fan. We have a lot of alignment. So thank
Yeah,
you for sharing that.
of course.
Um, so at the moment, what types of contacts or connections are you looking for now, if any?
I think I'm always looking for new connections, and I would keep on saying that it's just connections that are outside my current bubble. So to be in touch with people from outside Brazil or people from anywhere in the world, and I just want to exchange experiences, to know new places And I love photography. I do that as a hobby. So it's definitely a connection that I would be looking for people who are interested in photography or professional photographers, as well as content creators.
Mm.
I love the world of creators. So I really enjoy seeing people doing that and just connecting with them to learn about that and just to see how they're doing and how I can do as well.
So, what qualities or like kind of like character traits do you look for in new connections?
I would definitely say people who are outgoing and have they have a take on positivity on their life. So that really excites me. People that you can just start a conversation at hello, and then you just end up at like, a crazy idea that you would have never thought of. So I think these people, like I am very outgoing, I'm very extrovert. So I think I look for that on my connections as well.
That's great.
Yeah.
Um, so I actually wanted to touch base on, you talked about you traveling. What are some of the, like, when you think about community, right? Like, how would you describe, community, say in Brazil versus, let's say, when you were in Mexico? Like, how is it different, like building relationships in the different places that you've been to?
Definitely Brazil is something else. You
Okay.
like I have gone the places that I have gone that I stayed longer was the US and Mexico. So I kind of compared those two more with Brazil. But I mean, there is nothing like Brazilian communities. This is just crazy. Like it's only when you actually see it and feel it, you can tell that like we're so warm,
Mm.
we're so outgoing. We always want to be doing something out of the house. So that is something that I feel that is a big difference, especially comparing to the US. But I can definitely say that in Mexico, where I think we're also very similar, Latin people, we like to dance, we have like this very strong culture. So yeah, I would say that that is what differs the three of them. But like there's nothing like Brazilian communities, I think. It's super fun to be a part of. And everyone that comes here and feels it, like they know. So I think the big difference is in this warmth that we have,
Mm.
but it doesn't take away the beauty of building communities, being a Brazilian in the US and being Brazilian in Mexico. I have always been so people have been very welcoming to me, and I'm very grateful for that. And I still have friends from all those times that I went to this day. So there is a beauty in that, and also being comfortable on in somewhere that is very different from what I am used to. So yeah, Brazilians are,
Cool.
but it's also really cool to be a Brazilian somewhere else.
Cool. I love that. So, anything else you'd like to share with the community before we close?
Um, Again, I'm just really, really happy to be a part of this community, a part of G Block as a member and also as a community manager. It's something that it happened so fast, and it really proved to me the power of connections. Because once I connected with Richard, he told me about G Block, and then all of a sudden I'm here being part of this project that I really believe in with really cool people like you, Andrea, our team. So it's just been a really exciting experience and a lifetime ride. So I'm really glad to be here.
Great. Thank you so much, Luiza.
Thank you, Sheila.
All right.